Aqueduct, November 13th, 1971. Al Vanderbilt presents a silver plaque engraved with Shuvee's record to Mr. and Mrs. Whitney Stone. This film highlights that record.
For another jewel in the Triple Crown, the 39th running of the Acorn Stakes. Once again, coming from behind, the beautiful Shuvee. June 21st, the Coaching Club American Oaks, a mile-and-a-quarter test at Belmont Park. With her characteristic come-from-behind racing style, Shuvee goes on to sweep the Triple Crown for fillies, a feat accomplished only once before. But more than this, Shuvee's triumphs and those of other filly champions set the stage for 1970 as a kind of equine women's liberation movement in the male-dominated sport of kings. On to historic Saratoga for the annual 24-day stakes-laden meeting in the upstate Hudson Valley. At Saratoga, Shuvee, in something of a slump since winning the top flight at Aqueduct in May, returns to her top form. The setting is the 32nd running of the Diana Handicap at 1.1 miles, and 12 of the best older fillies and mares in America have gone to the post. Starter George Cassidy gets them away perfectly, a magnificent sight in front of the ancient stands. Sunday, from Jack Dreyfus's Hobo Farm, shows her liking for the sloppy pudding and takes the lead round the clubhouse turn. Going around the final turn, a long shot, Dark Emerald, owned by Reginald Webster and ridden by Jorge Velasquez, has a clear lead. But at this point, the 4-year-old filly with the swishing tail makes her move. Shuvee responds to the handling of Ron Turcotte, and what a stretch duel this becomes. Carrying Mrs. Stone's colors of gold with hoops of blue, she moves closer and closer to Dark Emerald. When they're finally matching stride for stride, Shuvee wins by the tip of her nose. Saratoga returns to its tranquil setting. The race scene comes back to Belmont, where Shuvee, having conquered the girls, sets out after the boys. She's the only filly in the $100,000 added Woodward, where Mrs. Ethel Jacobs' Personality, voted Horse of the Year in some polls, is the public choice. They're off in the 1.25 test for 3-year-olds and upwards. Personality goes right to the front to make the pace down the long backstretch run. Personality, nicely ridden by Eddie Belmonte, holds the lead round the final turn. But behind him on the rail as the field turns for home is Shuvee. She moves up boldly on the inside when there's trouble. She bumps the rail repeatedly at the 3/16 pole and thus loses all chance of beating her male rivals. Personality, a 3-year-old son of Hail to Reason, pulls off a terrific rush by Hydrologist and Two-Gun Dan for the most exciting finish of any Woodward. He wins by a neck with his rivals running a dead heat for second place. Personality is the winning horse and Belmonte the happiest rider. On to Aqueduct for the final meet of the New York join the male conquering fillies. Trainer Mike Freeman has selected the prestigious 2-mile Jockey Club Gold Cup, and only 4 colts have entered the race against her. One of them is Loud, owned by William Hagan Perry, and the betting favorite. And there's Shuvee, number 4. And Hydrologist, who ran a dead heat second in the thrilling finish of the Woodward. There they go. To the surprise of the big crowd, Ron Turcotte, under instructions from trainer Freeman, sends Shuvee right to the lead. trainer Mike Freeman, and for the proud owners and breeders of Shuvee, Mr. and Mrs. Whitney Stone. The Chinese called 1970 the year of the dog, but for thoroughbred racing, it was really the year of the ladies.
October 30th, 1971, fans come to Aqueduct to see Shuvee challenge a field of formidable colts in the 53rd running of the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Number 1A, Practicante, ridden by Jean Crouget, and stablemate Loud, you saw earlier with Lafitte Pinkai Jr. Here's number 2, Polar Traffic with Larry Adams up. And here she is, Shuvee, ridden by Jorge Velazquez. Wearing saddlecloth number 3 is Coraje, with Robert Ussery Shuvee with Jack Kurtzoff. And rounding out the field, number 7, Epic Journey with Chuck Baltazar aboard. There's starter George Cassidy and Dr. Gilman. And they're off. From between horses, number 4, our Shuvee takes the early lead. Shuvee is alongside in second position. Along the rail, motor traffic ranges up and very out. Down the backstretch for the first time. Along the inside, motor traffic up now to take the lead by 1 length. Our Shuvee second. A gap 2 lengths and Shuvee third. Outside fourth. Loud coming on fifth. Coming into the stretch for the first time. Polar Traffic has the lead by a length. From between horses, our Shuvee Paraje on the inside and Shuvee fourth on the far outside. Passing the stands for the first time. It's Polar Traffic in front. Shuvee now second on the outside. Along the rail, Paraje is third. Our Shuvee fourth. Loud fifth. Rockpicante sixth. And Epic Journey is next. They swing around the clubhouse turn. Polar Traffic has the lead by a neck. Shuvee on the outside second. Along the inside, Paraje races third. Loud is alongside in fourth position. A gap of 2 lengths and our Shuvee fifth. Rockpicante sixth and Epic Journey seventh. They split the way down the backstretch. It's Shuvee now in front by a length and 3/4. Polar Traffic holding on to second position. Loud on the outside is third. Along the rail, Rockpicante looks for racing room and moves up fourth. Paraje is fifth. Turn. Shuvee in front by a length and 1/4. Loud with Lafitte Pintai is second by 1 length. Rockpicante races third and Paraje coming on fourth. At the quarter pole, it's Shuvee in front by 1 length. Paraje on the far outside coming on second. Between horses, Loud is third. And on the rail, Rockpicante. Through the stretch, it's Shuvee in front. Paraje was second in the race, and Loud finished third. And Shuvee waves a final farewell to the boys as she wins her second Gold Cup in 2 years. Congratulating jockey Jorge Velazquez for a brilliant ride. And a familiar sight is enacted once more as Mr. and Mrs. Stone greet their mare and escort her to the winner's circle. And the traditional kiss. the Gold Cup to Mr. and Mrs. Stone. Shuvee, the leading money-winning mare of all times, with total earnings of $890,445, takes a final look at the scene of her greatest triumphs as she heads for More Than Stud in Virginia. May her progeny carry on in the hoofbeats of this gallant mare. In 44 career starts, she won 16 races, 15 of them stakes, was second 10 times and third 6 times. She was voted the Handicap Mare Champion in 1970 and again in 1971. Good luck, Shuvee. You're a hell of a mare.